Hi everyone, I'm Tara and I'm the creator of the Smeared and Smudged blog, and I'm also part of the design team over at Bombshell Stamps. And today I'm going to share with you a tutorial on how to assemble a Neverending card. First, before we get started, I want to invite you to go over to the Bombshell Stamps forum. There I've uploaded a step-by-step tutorial on how to make all the decorative paper that I'm going to be using in the project today. And also you'll get to chat with other people who love Bombshell Stamps, and Shannon has put up a whole bunch of cool features over there that you'll love. So on to the Neverending card. I'm sure you've probably seen one of these before, and if you haven't, they're actually very, very cool. And this is my version of it. This is a custom culture Neverending card. And this uses a custom culture stamp set from Bombshell. And what a Neverending card does is it opens over and over and over, and it basically never stops. So it's going to have 4 openings. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third. And on this page I've left this little area blank so that you could add a greeting in if you wanted to, a little note to the recipient. And then the 4th fold is going to bring it from back to the front of the card. And you can see you can just go over and over and over, and it's fun to play with. My kids like to play with these cards. They're actually very cool. So I wanted to tell you first that I pre-cut and pre-colored a lot of the pieces so that we could get right to the assembly of the card. On my little colored pieces, I stamped these out with StazOn ink. Let me set these out so you can see them. And I colored them with Prismacolors, and then added some touches in there with nail polish. And like I said, I used some different punches to cut out my decorative papers and all my paper pieces that I'm going to be using. So to start off, you're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock that are 6 inches by 3 inches, and you're going to need to score them 1.5 inches in from each end. So the way that I did that is I made myself a little chipboard template that's 1.5 inches wide, and I placed it over the end of my cardstock, making sure that it was really very even with the side. You want to make sure that all of your measurements and all of your score lines are pretty exact so that it folds and unfolds correctly. So I lined that up. I took my X-Acto knife and used the wrong end of it, and I just pressed that up against my template and scored it down this way. And I flipped and did the same thing on the other side. Line it up, take the wrong end of the X-Acto knife and score it down. So I've done that on all 4 pieces, and you can see that here that each one has a 1.5 inch margin on the side. And by the way, I'm going to have all of the measurements written out on my blog with this post. And if you're viewing this video and it's not on my blog is located at moresmearedink.blogspot.com. Okay, so the next step is to add adhesive, which you can see I've already done here. I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm going to take that same little nifty template that I made out of the chipboard, and I'm going to place 2 pieces with my folded edges on the right and left. I'm going to take that piece of chipboard, I'm going to lay it across the bottom of my first piece, making it very even with the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take my adhesive, and I'm just going to run adhesive across this little square right here, in between my score line and the top of the chipboard. That's where I'm going to add my adhesive. Now, you're going to want to use a very, very strong adhesive. For today, I'm just using a glue tape, but because of the amount of times that you fold and unfold this card, you want to use something probably that's a little bit stronger than this. But just for the purpose of demonstration, I don't have the time to let it dry, so I'm just going to use this for today. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. add the adhesive into that corner in between my score line and the top of the chipboard. On the second piece, I'm going to move my chipboard and I'm going to line it up with the top part of my cardstock, and I'm going to add the adhesive into the square between the bottom of the chipboard and my score line. And same thing on the other side, between my score line and the bottom of the chipboard. Okay, I'm going to take my other two pieces and I'm going to turn them so that the top and the bottom are the parts that have the pull. And I'm going to move my bottom adhesive part over real quick, just for a minute, and I'm going to work with the top one first. I'm going to very carefully line up the corners and the edges. Like I said, you want to be as exact as you can on this so that it opens correctly. And press it down. Remember, my fold on this piece is on the bottom and the top. On the back piece is on the right and the left. I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up as well as I can, the corners and the edges. Now, I can already tell that this one's off just a little bit. I can feel it right here, but we'll go ahead and put it down and see if I can fix it a little bit later. Now I'm going to take this bottom piece, I'm going to slide it under, and I'm going to do the same thing. You want to make sure your adhesive is on the bottom. I'm going to line up edges and corners. Now if this is a little difficult to do it this way, you can always flip it over this and this way like that and line it up. Press it down. And on the other end, it should line up pretty well already, if you did it right. You're going to push that down like this. Okay, so we're going to flip it back to the front. Okay, so I have folds on the top right here and on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my card because I want to make the score lines really apparent. I want to make sure that it unfolds correctly. So my first fold is going to open this way from the front. I want to open it all the way, press it down, and use my finger just to really push down those folds. Like that. Okay, my second fold is going to open from the middle, and that opens pretty well also, so I'm just going to push those folds down. Okay. My third one opens from the middle, and that is a little bit off, but because it's opening flat, I'm just going to leave it that way.